The air in this Ikeja factory was thick with the smell of machine oil and sweat, and Amara had been at her post since 6 that morning, her fingers moving with the rhythm of someone who had learned to ignore hunger. She was a machine operator, mother of 3, and the only reason her daughter Chidinma was still in school. Her school fees were due in 2 weeks, and Amara had taken a double shift to make it happen. Every kobo she saved was a step toward that goal. She mended her own uniform with thread she bought from the market, refused the fried yam the other woman bought at break, and drank free water from the cooler. Then the factory owner's wife walked in. Her name was Mrs. Bello, and she moved through the warehouse like she was stepping over dirt. Her handbag was worth more than Amara's monthly salary, and her shoes clicked against the concrete floor like a warning. She stopped near Amara's machine, looked at the worn shoes on Amara's feet, and said nothing. She didn't have to, but Amara had learned to read what people didn't say. She had learned it the day her cousin died in the Onitsha market fire 3 years ago, the one everyone said was an accident until the investigation revealed the faulty wiring the landlord had ignored for months. That day had changed something in Amara. She noticed things other people overlooked, the crack in the wall, the smell of burning plastic, the emergency exit that was always blocked by storage boxes. She checked that exit every morning, moving the boxes herself when no one was watching. The other workers called her paranoid. The supervisor called her difficult, but she didn't care. She had seen what happened when people stayed quiet about danger. Which one would fail first? The faulty wiring management had ignored for months, or the emergency exit Amara kept clear every morning. The first spark landed on a pile of chemical rags near the storage room, and within seconds the corner of the factory floor was breathing fire. Other workers screamed, dropped their sewing, and pushed toward the main entrance, the same door management always kept locked from outside during shifts. But Amara did not run toward the crowd. She grabbed the nearest apprentice by the collar, a boy of maybe 16 whose eyes had gone wide and empty with fear. "Back stairwell, now!" She shouted over the roar, and her voice cut through the panic like a blade. "The back door. It's always blocked." Someone yelled behind her. "Not today," Amara said, already dragging the boy past the storage shelves toward the exit she had cleared that morning. She shoved the apprentice through the doorway, counted 5 others who followed, then turned back toward the flames. That was when she heard it, a woman scream, high and desperate, coming from the locked office near the spreading fire. "Help me. Please, somebody, the door is stuck." It was Mrs. Adebayo, the factory owner's wife, the same woman who had laughed at Amara's cracked shoes just last week during the owner's birthday party. Amara grabbed the fire extinguisher from the wall. She did not hesitate, did not calculate the cost. She swung the metal cylinder against the office door once, twice, until the lock splintered and the door swung open. Mrs. Adebayo stumbled out, coughing, her designer dress already smudged with soot. She looked at Amara, at the woman she had mocked, the woman whose shoes she had pointed at, and for a long moment, neither of them spoke. By the time the fire trucks arrived, the building was half-gutted. But every single worker was alive. Amara stood outside, still holding the dented fire extinguisher, watching the smoke rise into the Lagos evening sky. The next morning, she was called to the manager's office. She expected gratitude. Instead, she found a query letter waiting on the desk, for damaging company property, for breaking a door that cost 2 months of her salary to replace. The query letter sat between them like a verdict. Amara's fingers still bore the blisters from the fire extinguisher, but Mr. Okonkwo's eyes were fixed on the paper, not her hands. "You understand, Amara, that door was imported. The insurance adjuster is coming tomorrow, and now they will see we had to break property to evacuate. This affects our claim." Manager tapping query letter with pen. She wanted to ask about the wife, Mrs. Adebayo, who had been screaming behind that same door. Instead, she said, the woman was inside. The smoke was already under the door. Amara's face showing quiet disbelief. Mr. Okonkwo said, sliding a warning letter toward her. "First written query. Next time, it is suspension. The owners have lawyers, and they will not pay for a door broken by a machine operator." Manager sliding warning letter across desk. Later that morning, Amara passed Mrs. Adebayo in the corridor. The factory owner's wife looked down, adjusted her gold bracelet, and walked past without a word. No thank you, no acknowledgement. Just the click of her heels on the concrete floor. Mrs. Adebayo avoiding eye contact with Amara in corridor. Amara stood there for a moment, then returned to her machine. She threaded the needle, placed the fabric, and pressed the pedal. Her daughter's school fees were due in 2 weeks. Courage does not need a ceremony, it only needs a reason, and Amara had 3 children waiting for her at home. Amara sitting back at industrial sewing machine, focused.